Hello friends, my name is Abhishek and you are watching Common Minds. If you are a Kannadiga or staying in Karnataka, there is one particular festival which you would never like to miss. This festival is about unity, about patriotism, about pride, about honor. This festival is important to each and everybody staying in Karnataka. Yes, I am talking about the Kannada Rajyotsava or the Karnataka Formation Day. If you are a part of this state, there is no way you cannot be a part of this passion, this enthusiasm. So let's understand more about this festival in detail in this video.
जय भारत जननीय तनुजाते जय हे कर्नाटक माते जय सुंदर नदी वन गणनाडे जय हे रसरुचि
Now the question is, why is this day so important? Well, India got its independence in 1947. However, the formation of Karnataka on the linguistic grounds was still not completed. It was in the year 1956 when all the Kannada-speaking regions were merged together to form the state of Mysore. This was later renamed as Karnataka in 1973. Why was this unification so important? During the British era, there were almost 20 administrative units where Kannada-speaking people were residing. Now the issue was, these regions were not under the princely state of Mysore. In fact, two-thirds of the present-day Karnataka was outside the Wadya dynasty and were under the control of Nizams, Mumbai Presidency and so on. This also meant that the Kannadigas in these regions, in spite of their large numbers, did not have an administrative patronage. Kannadigas in the Hubli region, for example, came under the rule of the Bombay Presidency, where Marathi was the official language. Those in Hyderabad region came under the Nizam's rule, where Urdu was the main language. It was under these conditions a feeling of discontent began among Kannadigas who stayed outside Mysore. The movement that first started as a protest against linguistic oppression has now turned into a bigger revolution. The demand of creating a separate state consolidating all the Kannada-speaking region was seen at that point of time. Although this resentment and protest had started as early as 1856, it became very prominent when Alluru Venkat Rao proposed to integrate all Kannada regions of Madras province and North Karnataka with Mysore kingdom. Kannada as a language is one of the oldest on the earth. Let's understand how this language evolved and established itself not only as a part of the ancient literature but also played an important role in developing the culture and architecture for numerous South Indian dynasties. The history of Karnataka goes back more than 2000 years ago. Several great empires have ruled over Karnataka and have contributed greatly to the history, culture, and development of this place. Dynasties like Kadamba, Chalukyas, Rashtrakutas, Hoysalas, and not to forget Vijayanagar, all of them vastly contributed in evolving the Kannada language as a literature and established a unique culture and architecture. The city of Hampi, it is a World UNESCO site. It itself speaks about the grandeur that this place would have in the early modern age. So let's understand more about this evolution and journey. Karnataka was a part of the Mauryan Empire. The first Maurya emperor Chandragupta Maurya died in Shravanbelgola, which is the present-day Hassan in Karnataka. Followed by that, around 239 BC, the Satavahana dynasty started ruling this part of India. They ruled almost for 4 centuries. However, it was during the Kadambas
when this language started showing prominence and growth. Kadambas were to first use Kannada as their administrative language. The Halmeri stone inscriptions are a beautiful example of the same. The credit of the development of Kannada as a language between 4th and 6th centuries goes to the Kadambas and the neighboring states of the Gangas and also the Badami Chalukyas. During the Chalukyas, the Sanskrit Ayol inscriptions by the famous poet Ravi Kirtihar also had Kannada scripts around it and is considered as a classical piece of poetry even today. The rule of the Western and Eastern Chalukyas is a major event in the history of Kannada literature. By the 9th and the 10th centuries, Kannada language has already seen some of its most notable writers. The three gems of Kannada literature, Adi Kavi Pampa, Sri Ponna, and Sri Rana, all belong to this period.
Kannada became more prominent as a literary language during the Rajputa rule, with its script and literature showing remarkable growth and dignity. Writers and scholars like Asaga, Mahavircharya had great literary works on their names in Kannada. Under the Hoysalas, Sanskrit language remained popular. However, the royal patronage of local Kannada scholars also increased. The Hoysala court supported scholars such as Janna, Rudrabhatta, Harihara, Raghavanka, whose works are enduring masterpieces in Kannada till today. During the rule of the Vijayanagar Empire, poets, scholars, and philosophers wrote primarily in Kannada, along with Telugu and Sanskrit. The Kannada poets and scholars of the empire produced some very important writings. This empire also witnessed some of the biggest bhakti moments. The famous poet Haridas was a gift of this movement only. During the late modern era came the existence of the Wadia dynasty in Mysore. Wadias, however, were dependent on Tipu Sultan for the protection of the empire, which saw Tipu rising and dominating this entire period.
However, with the downfall of Tipu Sultan after the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War, Britishers established their colonial regime and divided the area into multiple presidencies under Nizam of Hyderabad, the Bombay Presidency, the Madras Presidency, and the princely state of Mysore, which was still under the Wadiyars. This split did not go well. It only strengthened the bonding between the Kannada-speaking regions. It also gave rise to the fire to defend these regions and achieve absolute independence. Some of the greatest freedom fighters like Unake Obhava, Rani Chennamma, the Queen of Kittur, Sangoli Raina, all of them waged fierceful wars for independence against the British and their allies. This continued even after the independence of India. It was in 1956 when the date came true, when all the Kannada speaking regions were brought under one umbrella and was called the State of Mysore. This was later on renamed as Karnataka on 1st November 1973, as the belief was since the old age this was the most common name or the similar words or similar names were used in the past, which is more inclusive of the Carnatic culture. The yellow and the red flag, which is proudly flashed by every Kannadiga on this day, was designed by M. Ramamurthy. In fact, Karnataka is the only state to have a flag of its own. The state emblem, which is known as Gandha was adopted to represent transparency, strength, and righteousness. Jai Bharata, a famous song composed in Kannada by the famous Kannada poet Kuvempu, was declared as the state anthem in January 2004. This is how Karnataka over the time established itself as an independent identity, a place whose culture, language, architecture, economy was much different from the rest of the world. I hope you like the story and will definitely feel proud that India is a home to such great culture and architect and ancient language. Thanks for watching.
जय भारत जननीय तनुजाते जय हे कर्नाटक माते